Fast and Furious 9 is directed by Justin Lin and features Vin Diesel, John Cena, Michelle Rodriguez, and many other people. And this is the 9th official entry within the Fast and Furious series. Not including Hobbs and Shaw, because that was in fact a spin-off. Dom Toretto is living the quiet life off the grid with Letty and his son. But this time there is a threat that forces Dom to confront his sins of his past to save those he loves most. Now they have to face the most skilled assassin and high-performance driver they've ever encountered, Dom's forsaken brother. Now guys, before I give you my review of Fast and Furious 9, I want to see what you guys have to say about it down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere right in the middle? Please comment down below. Let me know. I'm aware it's not out worldwide yet. I know it's out today in Australia as well as other places. But either way, are you looking forward to it? What is your view on the Fast and Furious franchise? Is this a series that you're a fan of? Please comment down below, let me know. Now, Fast and Furious 9 was a movie that I went in optimistic for. I really enjoyed 5 through 8 due to the ridiculous over-the-top action sequences that we got. They work really well as background noise to kind of have while you're like doing cleaning or to do the cooking and everything, to just, you know, enjoy the noise in the background, to have a fun time and everything, and even sit down and watch a few action scenes that are ridiculous, over the top, and a ton of fun. I'm not a massive fan of the first 4 movies. I find the first one to be fine and, you know, entertaining enough, but really nothing all that special. I hate 2 and 3. I really don't like Too Fast and Furious or Tokyo Drift. And the 4th one I kind of find boring, forgettable, and whatever. So going into this movie, I went in with not much expectation, but enough optimism to hopefully enjoy this movie for what it was going to be. From the trailers, we knew this was going to probably be the most ridiculous, over-the-top movie in the series yet. And that is in fact true. Fast and Furious 9 takes it to a whole new level in regards to the ridiculous, over-the-top action sequences where you have to suspend your believability. But not in the good way. This is, without a doubt, my least favorite movie within the entire Fast and Furious series. Fast and Furious 9 is an absolute train wreck of a movie that completely debunks and diminishes everything else in the series to become this really bloated, over-the-top movie with a runtime that is absolutely absurd and action sequences where they even have an entire scene dedicated to following the laws of physics and them in the same time not following it whatsoever. There are so many absurdities that happen in this movie where in the past movies I'd be like, yeah, that's completely fine, if they didn't go to the extent that they go to in Fast and Furious 9. There is a point within a movie series where you have to realize what you are and you have to be self-aware, over the top, and whatever. And that's exactly what 5 through Hobbs and Shaw were. I even enjoy Hobbs and Shaw for what it is. But when it comes to Fast and Furious 9, while it does that, it becomes way too self-aware, to the point that it loses exactly what it was. It goes from being a series about fast car racing, and then goes to a series that is about heists in regards to taking a fucking safe down the road strapped to cars, to a series where they battle it out with a fucking tank. I swear to God, my phone has gone off in like every fucking video of mine in the last couple videos. To a series where they take down a plane, to a series where they literally jump a car off of a skyscraper, then they battle it out with a fucking submarine. But in this, they take it to a whole new level of which I cannot express without spoilers. I don't want to talk spoilers, because I don't think anyone should really know what actually happens in this movie. Fast and Furious 9 does some certain things within the film with every single action scene that is just too ridiculous for me to even suspend my believability. It goes way too far in the sense of self-awareness. It goes to the point where I can't even suspend my believability anymore, because it's just going all over the place. It's going all over the place in the sense that it's just action scene after action scene after action scene, of which is completely unbelievable. They're dealing with magnets. They're dealing with cars getting strapped to the fucking wires and everything, flinging over to another mountain. They're dealing with rocket fucking cars, which act like the rocket Voltic from GTA 5. They're dealing with massive insurgents, which act like the big fucking armored cars from GTA 5. When I did my initial trailer reaction back in like February of 2020, I literally described this as GTA the movie. And this movie really does go to that point. I honestly don't know how I can really talk about this movie without spoilers. But if I am going to talk about spoilers, I'm going to talk about some things that I actually like about this movie, which is very few and far between. Aside from the fact that there is absolutely no fucking chemistry between this cast this time around, there is absolutely none. There is a camaraderie between them that worked in the previous films, but this movie, in regards to its script, goes so over the top, so ridiculous. Therefore, the lines of dialogue between the characters feel incredibly ham-fisted, very forced, and they just don't seem to work. They feel very unrealistic, and even the interactions in the past movies at least felt like they were a part of a family, whether it was the cast, the crew, or even the characters. This time around, every line of dialogue delivered through the characters and their interactions feels incredibly forced, it feels incredibly stilted, the lines don't really work at all, and not only that, in regards to that nature as well, this movie goes to the extent of having lines of dialogue that are purely for comedy that last for way too fucking long or are drawn out way too long over throughout the runtime of the film being, you know, a running joke. There's an entire running joke in the movie about, you know, Roman, I think his name is, played by Tyrese Gibson, where he thinks they're invincible. And that is a running joke throughout the entire fucking movie, and there's an entire sequence after the first action scene that lasts for, I swear, about 2.5 to 3 minutes. And it just goes on for far too fucking long. But I also like the fact that even though this movie is a choppy fucking mess, there are moments where I'm like, there's no way you got from point A to point fucking Z like that. Like, it's very jumpy, very choppy. It's very hard to follow and put the pieces of the narrative together for that reason. And I'm not trying to look too far into it. I went into this movie literally checking my brain out the door because I got to attend the premiere last night in Brisbane. Thank you so much, Universal, by the way, for inviting me out to this special preview screening. I really, really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I didn't like the movie. But it's just like, I did appreciate the fact that with the flashbacks, although they are spliced in at random moments where it doesn't feel like it makes sense and just tanks the pacing a lot, the flashback sequences in regards to Dom and Jacob's relationship, who, the older counterparts and everything, John Cena and Vin Diesel, played by younger counterparts and everything as well, in regards to these flashbacks, there is some racing stuff from the earlier movies. There is some racing stuff which I think is very well directed. I think the opening racing scene is really emotional and also really, really invigorating. Invigorating, is that the right word? I don't think it is. It's very enthralling and had the same level of anticipation, I feel, to Ford v Ferrari, from the sound design to the way it's filmed to the way it's edited. I'm like, you know what? If we got the rest of the movie like this, I would not complain if it went from racing to heist bullshit to racing again. And I wish the movie was more like that for the reason of those racing sequences in the flashbacks were a ton of fun and were really, really well done. I thought that was great. I also think the soundtrack this time around is great. Once again, all these movies have a great soundtrack. I also think that, for the most part, Justin Lin, who is a series veteran, does a really good job directing this movie, even the action sequences, which at times does suffer from a bit of choppy editing and shaky cam, but not to the point where you can't see what's going on, so it isn't all that distracting. It's fine, but those are really the only positives I can give this movie. Cardi B's in the movie for one scene, as we all knew. I couldn't understand a word she was fucking saying because she talks like she always does. But either way, this is the moment in the review where I get into spoilers, because I cannot talk about certain absurdities in this movie and why it goes too far without delving into a few spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, guys, here is the timestamp where I stop talking about spoilers. Please, if you don't want to be spoiled, click to this point in the video. Okay, Fast and Furious 9 goes to the point of having the opening action scene, which we saw the clip get released and everything, where, you know, Dom uses the cable on the bridge and everything to swing himself over to the fucking mountain where it could have turned him into potato mush. But earlier in the scene, it goes to the point of Roman, played by Tyrese Gibson, literally being in a sticky situation where there are tens of soldiers. Like, literally, I'd say that there's about 20 or 30 of them, and he does a full-on sequence where he picks up an AK and starts mowing them down, killing them one by one, swinging the gun around with unlimited ammo and everything. And then he's like, I'm just sitting there watching that scene going, hang on, he's not getting hit at all. Are these guys basically stormtroopers? And I'm like, okay, that would have been fine. I've seen that in movies that many fucking times. But this time, it has him literally look at his jacket, which is smoking with bullet holes. And he has no wounds. And the next scene is a 2.5 to 3 minute sequence of him talking to Ludacris about how he thinks they're invincible because he shows him the jacket and how he comes out without a scratch. There's also a scene in the movie where it involves magnets, where there are no repercussions, no pedestrians or citizens are hurt. They're using these high-tech magnets to basically have a car fling through a fucking building into a truck that they are driving. And no one gets hurt. And no repercussions. They're just driving through the city in a truck where one of them doesn't know how to drive, and they are literally driving into cars and people T-boning them and destroying them. No repercussions, no police, no nothing. And like, I understand this happened in the previous movies, but due to the situations, the police were after them and everything, and the people that were after them, I could believe that they were actually not going to have repercussions, because the villains were actually semi-serviceable. In this movie, Charlize Theron is back as Cypher, I think her name is. And there's this other dude who's literally like, I've been living in the shadow of my father. He has a lot of money. Soon he's going to be asking me for a trust fund. And it just came off as very ham-fisted. It doesn't fucking work. And it just feels incredibly forced. Need I mention, the action scenes this time around, there are so little repercussions that is just ridiculous. Dom literally falls to his death after making all this rubble and everything fall on him to break a bridge or whatever the fuck it is to save everyone else, where he plummets into water, which from how high that is would have basically broken his bones from the way he entered the water. But also he would have been hit by all of that debris and just nothing. He comes out with just a scratch. And they actually go to fucking space in this movie. I'm not even fucking kidding. The Tokyo Drift people turn up in this movie where they're like, oh yeah, we're rocket scientists kind of, and now you want to go to space to destroy the satellite, so we're going to strap a rocket engine to the back of a Pontiac Fiera, we're going to strap you to the back of a plane, and going to send you out of orbit, where you now have to get rid of a satellite using magnets, if I'm not mistaken, but the magnets don't work. So they then use their rocket thruster to blast through a fucking satellite without them dying. They ram the car with the rocket engine on the back through a satellite, and they survive. I think it was purely so they could have a joke about them looking like minions afterwards. Because... banana? I am absolutely baffled by a lot of the stuff that they introduced into this movie in regards to the action scenes, and that is not even the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot of fucking shit in this movie that just doesn't work in regards to how ridiculous and over the top the action scenes were, to the point that it wasn't fun. It was action scene after action scene after action scene that became obnoxious, boring, tedious, and exhausting, where even the down moments where it's like character stuff is so ham-fisted in and so brushed over. Their explanation to how Han survived, yes, that is not a spoiler, he's on the fucking posters, he's in the fucking trailers. How they explain his survival is literally like a 30-second scene where they just brush over it, where I don't even fucking understand it. And whatever I do understand is just dumb. It is so fucking dumb and takes away any levity that Fast 6 and 7 had in regards to their villains and the personal motives they had. It's dumb. It really is. And it's not dumb in the good way. It's dumb in the insulting factor, where it's just like, this movie is so degrading to the viewer and the audience that it treats us like we're fucking idiots. Like, that's how the fucking movie treats us. I will give the movie this: the cars are cool, the action sequences are well done, even though they're fucking stupid as shit, and they're not believable, and I don't enjoy them, but they are well made. I do think that in regards to the whole, you know, racing parts that are in the movie, even though it's few and far between, they're fun, but that's about it. I really don't like this movie. There is no chemistry between the crew this time around. There is nothing in this movie that is remotely interesting. It goes way too far in regards to its absurdities that it literally tanks the franchise, and I think this franchise just needs to end. I don't want part 10. I don't want part 11. I think this series just needs to end because this is the breaking point for me. I swear to God, if they make another one, even though it's already announced, I swear to God, I'm just done with this franchise. I don't even want to give it my money. I don't think anyone should be giving it that money, because this is one of the worst movies of the year so far, and easily the worst movie within the series. I just can't. With all that said, I'm going to give Fast and Furious 9 a D. So guys, what did you think of Fast and Furious 9? I want to see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere right in the middle? Just comment down below, let me know. Do we should also follow the social medias on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Twitch to watch my live streams and keep updated future content coming to the channel. Do be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell to get notified when new videos are up every single week. Do be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.